tickets. This is the 11th time BYU has faced Cal in the finals. And #1 ranked BYU men's volleyball won the MPSF tournament title, beating UCLA for the 3rd time this season. With that in mind, we welcome Shawn Olmstead and the championship trophy to Studio B.
Oh, whatever you're supposed to do, you know, make a sound. The halo, you know. There it is.
You got the Hallelujah chorus playing in the background for you, Shawn.
Yep.
I was wearing my Kobe Bryant's on Saturday night. Just like.
Not Sunday morning.
No.
Why not? Come on.
Oh, I should have worn them on Sunday morning, too. That's right. I don't think my wife would let me get away with that.
Iglesia?
I need to talk to you about how you get away with that.
You saw me at the Y Awards. I didn't expect to go home that night. I told you guys, because we just had practice, we had film, and then the Y Awards. And so, hey, hun, just get an outfit and bring it down, and I'll change in my office or locker room, whatever. And it worked out that I had a little time, so I just said, hey, I'll jet home. We can make a date of it. We can come together. So I just rushed home, and it's all laid out. And then I start to put on this and some shoes. She's like, oh, my gosh, no. And then away we went. Luckily, I don't think I ran into any administration that night. I kind of stayed low-key, and you saw how quick I was out of there.
Yeah.
So
I felt like part of the team. I was looking down. I was like, yeah, this is a big deal for me.
There you go.
You're not sneaker guy at church, are you? Just
No,
that night?
I've never done that. No,
Okay.
I will say.
Nothing
I
against those guys.
No, I've never been a sneaker guy at church, and probably never will be.
The Kobe's at church would
I
be
did wear
awesome.
some Nike, like these golf pants that were kind of this black camo.
Totally
and
okay with that.
She didn't see me until
I
we
wore
were in
golf
like
pants,
sacrament meeting. She's like, "You got to be kidding me! What are you wearing?" And
I wore golf pants to church.
They're Nike dress pants.
that's exactly what I say.
Exactly.
Okay, so you win the championship in the tournament. Not regular season champs, tournament champs, number one overall seed. What did it mean to you to have that weekend and kind of culminate the regular season that way?
Yeah, you know, I mean, honestly, the feelings were just excitement and joy kind of for the guys. They've put in so much work. They've been so diligent with all the things we've asked them to do, all the things we've talked about throughout the course of just a grinding MPSF season. And they've done it all, and they've stayed at it. And so I was just, you know, it wasn't about myself or our coaches, other than, you know, they do such a great job for our program. It was just how excited I was for the guys, and I kept telling them that over and over, you know. And but they're, you know, they still believe there's a ton more to do. So they're excited about that we just get to play again, and we get to keep playing. And so that's exciting, especially when you got a group of guys like this, got a fun team. The chance, you hear it in sports all the time, hey, we just get to play another day. And right now, one match is guaranteed, and we've got to go earn anything beyond that. And in reality, there's a total of 2 more. And so the guys are looking at it. We'll take the first match first, and we get that opportunity to play, and we'll go from there.
Describe the environment Saturday, because finals were a couple days before. There weren't a ton of students per se, but they pulled back the curtain. There's this really deep group of fans that's like 200 feet away from the court, but they were there, 4,900.
Well, I knew something was going on that day because a couple hours before that, we go into kind of our final prep stuff and write notes, the whiteboard covered in things about, you know, our opponents and about what we need to do. And I go through this back gate up by, you know, where my offices are, you know, and then I drop down into our team room. And never, ever, ever this year has someone stopped me, you know, the wearing the orange, you know, event staff.
Someone stopped you?
Yeah, it was probably a student, you know, bless his heart, but because, you know, I mean, it was me, you know.
Give
you
him
know.
a pass.
No, yeah. I'm kidding. But I wasn't wearing anything BYU. I mean, I was wearing kind of a Nike, like a camo jacket and just shorts. And hey, you can't come through here. And I said, I'm just going to our team room. I'm the coach. And he's like, oh, okay. But that's never happened. You just open the gate and walk through and go down to your team room. No one's ever there. So I was like,
do you have a wristband? Do you have a wristband?
Can I scan that? You know, and so something's going on. And then, you know, little by little, the fans came in, and it was exciting. But, you know, you and I were talking after the match. I mean, that was the norm 10 years ago. 12, 15 years ago. I mean, it was always like that. They had to pull down bring in the curtain, you know, and it was back to that back wall. And so without a doubt, I mean, hats off to Cougar Nation for showing up, especially considering finals and probably half or more than half of the student population was gone. So again, it's probably the community. And so thanks to the community, and it's a great volleyball community. And so it was enjoyable for the guys. It was a really, really fun environment. And I'm certain talking to the coaches, UCLA enjoyed it too. I think kind of, hey, oh man, this is cool, and yeah, they're yelling at me, but just look around. How can you not enjoy an atmosphere like that?
In your wildest, did you ever think that, hey, I'm going to coach in the Final Four on the women's side, and then the next year I'm going to coach in the Final Four for the men's side?
I mean, no. I mean, I didn't sit there and, take scribble notes and just say, here's a plan. No, not at all. Not ever. I've been fortunate to be surrounded by just some great players. That women's team, Jen redshirting, everything just kind of really aligned with Alexa, Tamber. All these great players, and there's so many great stories there. And it's very similar here, and so I never thought that. But I've been fortunate to be surrounded by a bunch of great people, coaches and players, without a doubt.
How long did you celebrate the MPSF tournament title? Because the selection show was yesterday, and now you have scouting to do for 2 teams.
Yeah, you saw us you were up there with us till pretty late that night, and then I had to go. After you left, the funny thing is one of UCLA's assistants left their backpack at the gym, which is interesting because usually you're carrying, in mine, I've got all the, secret ingredients in my bag, but
set Ben Pat.
Yeah. So the janitors, Chuck came up to me and he's like, hey, this is somebody's backpack. I just look and I immediately see the name tag of one of their assistants. So I had to call their head coach like at 11:15 that night. I was still leaving my office. Hey, he answers, hey, Shawn, what's up?
Remember how we won, man? It was so awesome, John. You didn't?
Just start breathing.
See you in the title game. Yeah.
No, and I didn't have his assistant's phone number, and I just had to, so I went to their hotel, gave them their bag. They were awesome, and so I don't know. I'm not the one to go celebrate. My wife went her way, and I went my way, and we did our thing, and our coaches, there's a ton of just logistics now that the NCAA is more involved because it's a championship put on by them. So there's a lot of logistics that have been getting taken care of all day yesterday. So celebration, I didn't even watch the selection show because my internet wasn't working at home.
What? No, are you serious?
I'm not lying. I was getting like, kids, turn off every electronic in the house. I can't get service here, So I just finally said, forget this is stupid. And I just sat there and waited till, I knew my coaches were going to say, all right, we're not, this and that. Yeah. I literally did not see it because it just kept stopping right at the start. God. And so I just, whatever. And that's why I kind of creeped around your Twitter profile and saw. I knew you'd keep it up to date. So
I had a nickel, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's we just want to play, and we're focused on that, and so we'll get going from there.
Now, in the moment, Brendan Sanders said to Lauren Frankham, and I quote, "This isn't what we want." So with that in mind, is the focus where you want it to be with your team?
Yeah. I was in there with those guys, and maybe he said some things to her before, but he said, quote, all the right things in our conference after. I loved his focus, determination, Leo's, and Ben. We were all 3 together, and I think that's coming from the entire team, and he's a great kid. That kid just kind of, he's not as highly profiled as his brother, but man, he's slowly doing just outstanding things for this program little by little. And I just like his attitude towards it. I love his energy, and so we're fortunate to be surrounded by a bunch of kids like that, and I think that their focus is right there, and we're going to play good volleyball though coming forward. Good opponents, very good opponents. So we've got to be there.
Thursday, May 5th at Penn State, BYU will play the winner of Long Beach State and Erskine. Really good middle blockers. The pin hitters have had all this discussion. Eric Sykes has been really good. Is Leo Durkin the most underrated part of the team? It's hard for the average person to assess the setter. Yeah. But when BYU won its national titles, Hector LeBron in 99 and 01, Carlos Moreno, the setter was really, really good. What do you think of Leo's play?
Yeah, I think to answer that question correctly is to really, really, credit the role that Robbie's played on this team. And it's not always easy. And I tell these guys that all the time, but I've been maybe most impressed with just him and his attitude towards everything, especially playing a much larger role in years past. But he's been just upbeat, done everything to a T, just exactly what you would want from a team player. And so with that being said, Leo came along, and just from the start, we made a decision as a staff. You know, we may take some lumps and bruises as we get going, but he's done a remarkable job, and he's really, really learned through this process, and he's grown so much just over the last 3 months, 4 months, as he's kind of been in that situation, have to understand what's going on the other side of the net and making those decisions in crunch time. Those are tough decisions to make, and he's done a remarkable job. But, you know, it's an entire team effort because there is so many guys, you know, the middles, the passers have steadily improved. And so there's a bunch of good factors that have really contributed to the success.
The resume for your team right now is ridiculous. #1 overall seed, #1 team in America, MPSF regular season and tournament champions. Hey, the bar's high. You want it to be there. Your team wants it to be there. So would it be unfair for anyone, fan or whoever else, to think, well, if they don't win the championship, it's a disappointment?
I don't worry about that. I can't. You know, I learned that lesson so many years ago when I got into coaching, and it just, I'm not going to worry about that. You know, if you saw, I was messing with Jerem,
I get that a lot,
and sent him some of the things that I get from fans, and it's just hilarious. He was laughing like you know,
it's funny.
And so,
what is?
I don't know what that means. I don't think people understand. You know, they're sitting at home, you know, and they're just trying to analyze everything. But in reality, getting out this disappointment. Look what these guys have done. Look what these boys have done. Yeah. And so let's just go compete. And if we do our best, we're very confident that things are going to go our way at the right time. But so are the opponents. So are those teams that we're going against. And we're going to go play a team that's beaten us. And so, well, or Erskine, excuse me. You know, that's I'm going to get ripped for that one probably. But, you know, we could likely line up with a team that has – you know, had our number at one time this year. So I never read into that because nobody knows what goes into every single thing, what our coaches go through. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my gosh, it was just all this body of work. Oh, it's a disappointment. Just, you know, where's the Prozac? Let's go. You know, I mean, it's just these guys have accomplished too much, and these boys have worked too darn hard for anybody to criticize it. I mean, seriously, you know, and I'll fight for these boys. I'll fight for our staff. It's athletics, and you hope that the best team's going to win, and may the best team win, but you got to lace it up and you got to get out there and play.
I love it when you're on the show, man.
Well, I was going to say before, you know, when are we going to get this guy out of the picture? And it's just you and I from 10 to 11. Like, let's go. Yeah. You know, I watch enough. I think I could keep up to date.
We've got vacation time in the summer, so I think we may have to have Shawn Olmstead slide into the seat.
I'm going to look good. I'm going to say it how it is. I mean, that's it. And, you know, and I don't have Twitter, so nobody can attack me. No, I don't have any of that stuff. So you guys can deal with all the repercussions of having me on. But
we always do.
Hey, let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma for the semifinals, man.
Okay. Which is in like a week and a half.
So maybe I can come on again.
We've got.
You want a double dose? We'll see what we can do.
We can pitch it.
We'll see. Yes.
You're not busy. We know. We know you have time next week.
Shawn, great to have you, man. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Really, thank you.
MPSF champions, regular season and tournament #1. It's